Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Slayer The Legend of Heroes. In the last part, we actually finished off the plot here in Mortavia just about, and before we head on off to Port More in order to get to the final section of the game, might as well talk to the guys around here because I do like that Isaac, Daniel, and Marcus just kind of sit around here. Like I mentioned last time, this would actually be a little bit of a theme in the Trails games where just party members from prior in the game or other important NPCs will just kind of group up and do things in the background, and it's kind of interesting to see that just kind of be in the series since The Legend of Heroes itself started. Not so much Dragon Slayer, because the lineage of Dragon Slayer itself as a series is weird, because Dragon Slayer started, then the second game became Xanadu, then the sixth game became this. I forget if I already talked about this in the LP. I'll talk probably more about it during the credits next time. But for now, we need to head back to Port More and take the ship we came in from, because now it'll take us over to the final section of the game. Also, while we're here, might as well mention that all the dialogue here got resolved, and in kind of a weirdly dark moment, by the way, free in here with Romeo and Juliet. Out of all the sections of the game, Chapter 5 is my favorite on a character aspect, because I really do like Giles' character, and I like what they do with his family a good bit. But it's definitely got some of the weakest background stuff in it, because we never learn about what happened to all the other maidens. I guess Gaius just ate them.
I've been waiting to take you to Fort Wynd. I heard you're going to Jaggery. Only exiled convicts are sent there. You'll have to bribe the gate guards or you won't get out of the fort. They're real strict. Hey, maybe you can pretend to be on Korotov's inspection team. Anyway, let's board. My mate Jack won't like us to be late on his release day.
Alright, let's get on out of here. In easily the most inefficient boat route in the game. This boat goes from Port More south and then west towards Port Muir, and then takes a south loop along that continent and then heads north across it, when it would be faster at that specific junction just there to go north and follow the coastline to get to Fort Wynd, which is our ultimate destination here. I guess maybe the mentality is there's more frequent pit stops along the way for restocking, maybe if you go this way, but it is definitely kind of weird. I do like the boat theme, though. It's real chill, nice and elevatory. I think I already said that. I've recorded this across a course of like a week and a half, so I can't quite remember things I said back in like part 2 already. But the chapter 6/finale Dragonfire is definitely a little different in its structure for reasons we'll get into after we go through the town. But first, more plot.
Have today's prisoners come through yet?
Nah, not yet. Wait, here comes someone now.
Alright, it's Rocco. Been a while. Where have you been? We've been waiting forever.
Sorry, Ace. The hike from Doomkeeps takes time. Hey, guard, it's me, Jack. I'm going free today. Jack, huh? I don't recognize you. You must be new around the fort, eh? Any more lips, Sonny, and you'll be back on a chain gang.
You're looking good, bro. Don't sweat it. Big Giles is all fixed. Plus a ship to get us out of here.
Sounds good. What about you, Giles? What brings you to the Outlands? I'm looking for the Sword Blaze. Know anything about it? Never even heard of it. Why don't you ask my Earl pal Dale? He's up in Doomkeep. As for me, I think I'll just mosey on home. Got a bit of catching up to do. So, see you around. Let's go, Rocco.
Sure thing, Jacko. Later, guys. Good luck.
So before we leave Fort Wynd by heading south, we want to go talk to some people around here for some very pressing matters. In particular, we're going to want to really hit up the store here for reasons TM.
My days in the pit welts in my mind. My warp's useless. What brings you to this hole anyway?
We're searching for the Sword Blaze.
I know nothing of it. Why don't you try the ruins beneath Doomkeep?
Ruins beneath there, huh? That might be worth looking into, yeah.
It seems to me that you're in need of something, right?
That's right, we seek Sword Blaze.
Sword Blaze. The east.
It's in the east. I hope for your sake that you're telling us the truth. I say east, maybe it's west. North. The signs are very confusing. Give up while you still can. I don't know why, I like that line of dialogue. Either way, McKinley the trader here is the best trader in the game, in that he sells armor and items. In particular, he sells the best standard armor and weapon in the game. He sells the Star Blades, and the battle suits, and what's the third thing? The Jade Shield. You want to get as much equipment here as you can now before you leave the town. You want to get your equipment, not your equipment, your gold is close to 0 even while you're here before you leave town as you can. Here's how far I got and how much equipment I ended up buying and selling to get everyone up to their best. Why? Because of this. What's the deal? No one but convicts through here. Perhaps if you greased my palms with gold, I'd look the other way. Get a life, you're as bad as old Drax. Whose side are you on, anyway? I guess you could say I go to the highest bidder. You lowlife, draw your sword! Hold on, Sonia, we should feel sorry for him. How does 1913 gold sound? You're gonna fall for it, huh? What a laugh. The place is yours, just don't fall into Jaggery Pit. In a rather unique moment in the game, and kind of an annoying one, before you leave Fort Wynd the first time, you don't have to do this on any subsequent visits, you are forced to pay half your gold to that scumbag before leaving. Which is why you want to get your gold as close to 0, just so you don't waste too much gold. Not that you're going to be buying much stuff from this point forward anyway, and even then you're going to have plenty of time to get your gold back up. And you might have noticed there were no enemies here. Because this is a Mortavian prison land, it's already all clear to monsters. And that guy just left, huh? Weird.
You're new in town, so I'll tell you how we do things. The most important thing is to be nice to the boss man. Then you gotta think about that slimy dog Scott. The boundary's right there.
Ain't that hilarious? Ha ha ha! Ah, sure is! The rest of the party gives Logan a blank stare.
Was it that funny, Prince?
Don't waste your breath on him. You'll catch on real quick. Leastways, I hope so. Anyway, this is the boundary. Left is Benjamin's, right is Scott's. Giles, is it really you? It's me, Dale. Hi, guy. I haven't seen you since we blew that hole in Big Giles's wall. Jack told me you'd be here. Jack? He left Fort Wynd this morning. But how'd you get here? Last I heard, you were doing time for pickpocketing. Oh, me? What a joke. You must have been talking to a bunch of liars. But anyway, you ever hear of the Sword Blaze? Sounds real important. No, I've never heard of it. The Sword Blaze, eh? Now I'll keep my ears open and give you any news I hear. Jack and Boris went free today. Boris just left, so I guess that was the guy who left at the start of the area. Interesting. Hey, I've seen your faces somewhere before. I'm the professor. I got caught stealing just to get in here and explore the ancient ruins for artifacts. Did you say explore? Then maybe you know the Sword Blaze. I'm not sure. Ah, yes, now I remember. That is one amazing piece of work, let me tell you. I say this guy's bluffing us. Me too. He looks nervous and sweaty. Yeah, Sword Blaze, that's the ticket. Okay then.
You better watch your eyes, boys, cause I'll gouge 'em out. Spineless curds, just like you to fight like a woman. What a wimp, eh? Are y'all new members or what?
No, we're looking for the Sword Blaze.
We don't need you scum around here. You're probably spies for that swine Scott. Now go on, get.
Ain't Benjamin the greatest? He's twice as strong as Scotty. And Scotty always made me give him half my wages. What a slime ball, eh? I guess let's go talk to Scott while we're here.
Did that weakling Benjamin send you over? Tell him I'll never forgive him.
Okay. I do weirdly appreciate this town. It's a weird breath of fresh air compared to the rest of the towns. It being the only one that really has a unique tile set probably helps with that. Because we've been through 90% of the game's areas at this point, and every town used the same one except for this. Well, no, there's also the beach type one with the pier, so there's 3 town tile sets. It just took until the last actual town in the game to use the last one. Great. Before we move on towards the Jaggery Pit that we've heard mentioned several times, though, let's talk to the priest in here. Good to see some new faces. Let me fill you in. Below Doomkeep are ancient ruins from the distant past. These beautiful candlestands are made from steel found down there. As for me, my work is to spread the Seeker's wisdom to the inmates. Keep the Jaggery Pit workers in line. Stop by for tea. Alright, so now we're good to move to Jaggery Pit itself, which is just a straightforward path west. Similarly to the entirety of Chapter 5, this is a very small linear area. And because there's no enemies here, this is why I did a lot more grinding than I probably should have before the tower last part. If there were, I could easily get to like level 38 just around here from like level 34 to 5. before doing the tower grind. So Jaggery Pit itself, our goal is to get to the top left of the map there. But you might notice, it is kind of hard to see chests on the map, but there are 2 or 3 chests you want to grab here because they contain more versions of the equipment we could have bought back in Fort Wynd. And since this is the best equipment in the game, just about, you might as well. Get used to trekking through this dungeon, by the way, because we need to get to the back of it, where we're heading right now, about 3 times by the end of the game. And that all happens in this video. It's interesting. This game is relatively short for RPG standards. It's only slightly longer than the original Final Fantasy IV in total, I'd say. Like, I think this LP was about 15, 16 gameplay hours. But only, I'd say, about 10 to 11 of that is straight progress. I'd say 2 to 3 hours is grinding, and another hour is just backtracking back and forth before you get Warp 2. It's kind of annoying in that regard, but at least it has a good amount of actual stuff to it, even if a lot of it's also just getting into random battles.
Nothing yet, Giles, buddy. Hang in there.
So I came back here to Doom Keep, but you don't actually need to come back here. I only came back to see that land from Dale. We need to head to Fort Wynd, because now that we've witnessed that dead end at the far end of the Jaggery Pit, a scene is awaiting us over there. And I didn't just want to cut there because that could lead to some weird, all of a sudden, scene stuff in case I was in the middle of a conversation or a topic.
You're awfully strange, Boris. No one but a weirdo would go back on the same day he walked free of jail. Come on, Red, it's a great life. You don't know what you're missing. Besides, I couldn't hold down a real job anyway.
I told you that bum would never make it in the real world.
Okay, you were right. For once. You'll probably go back to being the best lockpicker around.
No doubt, I don't want to watch out for him.
What's the deal?
You're lying, no one beats me in my own game.
Relax, Giles. We all know you're the best.
And now we need to go back to Doom Keep again.
Hi, Giles. I saw Boris came back. He can't get enough. Then Scott sent him and his other boys to the mines.
Jaggery Pit or what?
Yep, that's right. I want to know what he's up to, so I hit one of my men in his work gang.
Good idea, old pal. You still haven't lost your edge. So now we need to once again go to the very back of Jaggery Pit. I'm just going to cut to the back of it so we don't have to see the actual maze part of the dungeon again. And we're going to have to do this at least one more time after this, I believe. So now there's something all the way back here.
Psst, you're friends of Dale's, right? Boris was just here. He said he was going back to get Scott and gunpowder.
Interesting. And now that I've talked to him, we need to once again go back to Doom Keep. Dungeons like this where you need to go in and out are why I recommend keeping Warp 1 around, even though Warp 2 is the more useful spell, because it at least allows you to jump cut out of these places without having to waste some time.
But my best man on the job. We should be hearing something from Jaggery real quick.
Yeah, we already did. So, I guess let's go see if Scott and Boris are around.
You're wasting your time. I ain't got nothing for you.
Okay, so Benjamin's around, but is Scott in his house? No, he's not, but there's something here. It looks like a map. No kidding, Doom Keep and the mine are marked with X's.
And the X's are connected with a straight line. That means Scott is digging a tunnel from Jaggery to the ruins.
We'd better get going and join up with him. Don't be so dense. Quit it. Maybe it'd be better if we told Benjamin about this. It may work to our advantage.
I'll have to agree with Logan on this one.
Okay, hey Benji, we might have some good news for you, or bad news, depending on what it means.
You're wasting your time, I ain't got nothing for you.
But we have something for you. Have a look.
What's this? One of Scott's old tricks? You must be his buds. He gave you this map, right? You're trying to pull a fast one, ain't you?
We're not getting far with this guy. I don't want to tell you I told you so, but I did. So, once again, we need to go all the way to the back of Jaggery Keep to witness another scene. Annoying is one way to say it. I'd say it's more tedious than anything by the end of it, just because it takes like 3 minutes probably to get through these dungeons sometimes if you're just walking.
Hey, Boris, can't you open it? No problem. They used to call me Boris the Blaster. Check it out.
You jerk, it ain't no man can open it with gunpowder.
Relax, we'll just take whatever's inside and split it.
I ain't kidding, 30 gold's more than enough in this job.
Let's move.
30 gold is not a lot, you can get that by killing a single monster.
Scott, where's the goods, man?
What kind of dumb question is that? Start searching. This is the ruins, alright.
Who invited you? Go play in a sandbox, in exile!
Haha,
Goodin', I'll take care of him.
not so fast, boys, I came to check out the racket. After our chat with Logan and his gang, I figured you'd break in here.
Get him, men.
I should have believed you. Dale says you're looking for some special tool. There ain't nothing left down here, though. I hope you find the whatchamacall, Blaze. Later. Okay, so I guess that's resolved. We just solved the turf war, accidentally. So we got a gigantic underground set of ruins here. And they don't make where you're supposed to go initially obvious unless you check every house and look for a sprite that looks a little out of place. We need to go to the library, which is the house on the middle right of the map. I do like this song, though. I think it only plays here and in the cutscene with Samantha earlier in the game. Maybe one other two places. Hey, here's something, a book. Right on, Prince. Can't read it, but it's got some great drawings. Sort of like war stuff. Perhaps Professor Smith could decipher it. Could he, though? Could he? The last time we talked to him, like, what was it, 7 minutes ago? Not even. He didn't even really know what a sword blaze was. And frankly, he seems like the type to be fake being smart just to make others think more of him. At the current rate, at least. I guess it's worth a try since he is right here. But I don't really think this is the best idea. I bet you found nothing down there. No, we found something, hopefully. We got something you may be interested in, Professor. I don't believe it. A lost tome. What a find. If I'd only paid attention in those language classes, I could read it. What good are you? I told you he was a scam artist.
Yeah, but now our main trouble is that there's no clues. Who do we know who could read this tome?
Well, gee. Was there someone who seemed to be into archaeology introduced in the last part or two, if even? Yes. Well, then let's head back to Acadia and hope he's here and not back at Carcass, because otherwise that'd be really embarrassing if we got the wrong location. We're looking for good old Colin. There he is. Son, did you find a sword blaze? Not yet, Pop, but we got this old book out of Doomkeep. Looks interesting. Seems to be about ancient weapons. Eureka! It has the sword blaze, too. It's hard to read, but I think it mentions laser beam bolt. Laser beam bolt? Too weird. Beats me. What's laser? I don't know, but it comes from the olden days. I have an old friend named Janice who used to study such things. Look here, there's a strange jewel inlaid on the sword. Let's see. Hey, I've seen this before. Come to think of it, me too. Yeah, in the Secret Temple of Doomkeep. The candle stands. Father Jones candle stands. Wow, it's amazing. The jewel. Looks like Doom's tear or Doom's eye? It's the jewels of Doom, all right. You've gotta go back. Everyone to the temple. If we're right, there'll be nothing or no one who can stop us. This is a case I'm glad Warp 2 exists, because if I had to take the boat back and forth to Port Moore twice here, I would just be dying inside. Good day to you. If it's all right with you, Father, we'd like to borrow the candle stands from your temple. I'd let you have them, but they're not mine to give. These candle stands are gifts from Benjamin, a good man. You wouldn't want to trample on his feelings, would you? Get a grasp on reality. Okay, I guess let's go ask Benjamin. Probably will say yes after what we did for him real quick there. Huh? Candle stands. What's those you're looking for? I don't want to give them away, but go ahead, take them. They'll be hanging around the place so much. Get out! Oh, okay, God, sure. Seems as if Benjamin has given his permission. This is indeed an emotional moment for me. It proves that all my efforts have not been in vain. Then the prince picks up both candle stands. In one candle stand, he sets Doom's tear. In the other, he sets Doom's eye. No sooner had the prince moved his finger away from the jewels than a burning heat crackles off the candle stands. The smell of searing hot steel fills the temple air. Each of the candle stands has become sword blaze. We got lightsabers, 2 of them even. The search is over. These swords shoot laser bolts of destruction. Oh, that line's great. So these are the ultimate weapon of the game. In fact, you get 2 of them because you want to equip them on your best attackers. I think in particular I'm putting them on Giles and Ethan. The thing is, you're still going to want to have Star Blades around just because you only get 2 of them. And Sword Blazes are going to be mostly useful against the final boss and some particular enemies in the final dungeon, because frankly, they don't take much damage from anything else. Speaking of final dungeon, we should probably go figure out what that is, huh? At this point, you can just wander around talking to people in prior towns to probably get some hints here and there, but the best hint is to just go straight back to Colin. As he's an archaeologist, he might know things of smartness. And also, in a jump cut there, I actually went purchasing a lot of stuff. I bought a lot of potions and mage fruits from towns that have sold those in prior towns, and I have one inventory slot open just because I'm gonna need it for a plot item. Son, that's a sweet-looking weapon you got. It's the Sword Blaze, Pop. 2 of them. But we still don't know where Naja keeps himself hidden. I wish I could tell you the answer, but I know nothing of Naja's dragon lair. Is there anything you know that can help us in our quest? Come to think of it, there's an island far, far away. Lost Isle's the name, a name all smart men should fear. Ages ago, a castle was built there, horror and terror lurk in its depths. But, lured by the mystery of fabulous riches, many have tried to conquer the raging seas and razorback mountains that surround it. None return. May the Seeker go with you if your journey to the end of the world. A castle nobody can reach? That's weird. Yes, but Naja may dwell within its walls. My hunch exactly, Ethan. Prepare yourselves, we march to Lost Isle. Only we can't actually march there to get there. This is what I mentioned earlier in the LP where I forget to talk to a particular NPC that hints on where we need to go next. Someone hints about a dragon roaming around the world, really, looking for someone. So, from that you might figure to go check out Cardis. Because there was a dragon here from memory. You ought to see your dragon now. He's got strong wings. I reckon he misses you and his flights are to search for you. It ain't easy to part with this, but you'll need it. And we get a dragon flute. With this dragon flute, you can call him to you. Just play it. Only dragons can hear the notes it makes. So, the hints that I missed out on are to go get your mount. Although, to be fair, he did hint that you could do that earlier in the game when we were actually here in Sordis. Use the dragon flute in your inventory, and our good dragon comes and picks us up, and we can fly over mountains and everything. Now, the Lost Isle is pretty much directly east of Doomkeep, but I want to head to the only other town you couldn't access at this point in the game, which is more or less southeast of Sordis Kingdom. We want to go to around here and then fly south. There it is. And you need to get off of it by pressing the 2 button on top of grass. This is Hidden Bay. This place isn't super necessary, but it is if you want to make super particular endgame builds, because in here, every single NPC is a sage that teaches you the entirety of each line of magic. If you wanted to get particular spell sets for the final dungeon, this is the place to do it. Cure 5, all the fire spells, every level of every spell in the game. Even some I think that might only be able to be found here. There are some NPCs I forget to talk to here. They mostly have the status magics. They are on the top left and top right of the map in particular. Once I'm done talking to all these particular sages, I'll talk about my particular endgame spell goals, or at least what I would recommend bringing along. Welcome, travelers. We have all the spells of East Renassa. The Seeker has told us of your trials and wishes you well. We are to aid you in your conquest of Dodge's chaotic threats. Search for him at Lost Isle. Alright, so let's talk about my endgame spell goals as I go over what my lists currently look like. By and large, you're gonna want to just get the best buffs for everyone, as even though they're very expensive, at this point everyone has enough MP, and with all the mage fruits I bought especially, that it's not gonna be a big deal. What you're really going to want to have is only 1 elemental attack spell per person. I recommend Shock 5 because there's at least 2 enemies in the final dungeon that can only be damaged by the Shock spell line if memory serves. You're going to want at least one person to have Warp 2 in the case you want to leave the dungeon's area, and you're going to want at least have one person have Warp 1 in case you want to get out of the dungeon very quickly. Otherwise, you're also going to want some debuffs. I recommend the Leech line and the Slow line more so than anything else. Status Magic's not going to be the biggest help overall in my eyes, but if you want to, there's probably at least some enemies that are vulnerable to Mute. And you're going to want to at least have 2 people have the Calm spell for the final bosses. And from here, we're going to meet back at Red Pier after I use the free inn in the back of it to showcase my final spell lists. The reason we're in Red Pier is because it's actually the closest town from memory to the final dungeon. Use the Dragon Flute and then just fly straight south, or north, I guess, as well. South takes less time, but north could work as well, because you'll find the giant ring of mountains with a castle in the center. Welcome to the final dungeon, the Lost Isle. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 11, we're going to go take the fight straight to Naja. See you guys then.